Hi everyone, a very good afternoon to all of you guys. Welcome to today's session. This will be the class 7th on the free rankers batch 500 plus MCQs. Okay. I hope your preparation is going well and this series is also adding value, right? We have practiced so many questions and I think, there are 3 more sessions in this particular series. So definitely it will be very helpful for your phase 1 examination as well. So let's start the session, guys. Okay, let's start. The very first question for today: which of the following domain extension has been designated for the non-banking financial companies under the RBI digital hygiene mandate? So recently RBI has mandated the banks and non-banking companies to use a particular domain, right? For bank, it's bank.in. What about the NBFCs? Any idea about the NBFC, guys? Any idea about the NBFC? The NBFC domain is fin.in. Okay, it's not nbfc.in, it is fin.in. Please do remember this one, can be very important for your examination. Okay, next one. Acha, can you guys tell me by which date has the RBI mandated all the banks to shift to the bank.in domain? By which date bank needs to shift to their existing from their existing domain to the bank.in domain? Any idea, anyone? For NBFC it is fin.in, for bank it is bank.in, but by which date bank needs to shift to the bank.in domain? The date is 31st October 2025, right? So this is the finance current affair May month detail. Yes, others, definitely. If I talk about finance current affairs, it will be enough because we are covering so many questions. I can say that almost all the questions I'm already covering in the series, right? So definitely it will add value. So by 31st of October, the bank needs to migrate their domain to bank.in domain, and which is the first bank to complete this particular migration, which is the first bank which has completed this migration. The first bank to complete the migration is PNB Bank. Okay, it is the PNB Bank, Punjab National Bank. Next one. This new domain framework will aim to help the users differentiate authentic websites from the fraudulent one. Which institution is responsible for managing the bank.in domain? Which is the institution which is responsible for the management of the bank.in domain as of now? Good afternoon, Madhur. The institution which is responsible for managing this domain is Institute of Development and Research in Banking Technology. Again, an important question. Okay, so we have seen that RBI has mandated the banks to transition to bank.in domain by 31st October 2025, and if you are an NBFC, you need to migrate to fin.in, right? Next one. The Reserve Bank of India has mandated that all the regulated entity must use a centralized platform, which is Pravah portal. Can you tell me the primary objective of Pravah portal? A very simple question, a very direct question, right? It was a part of your May month finance current affair. What is the primary objective of the Pravah portal? Quickly, guys, everyone in the comment section, what is the primary objective? This is one of the most simplest question, I can say, of the May month. And I hope everyone is aware of what Prava portal is all about. We have done it so many times, right? So basically guys, Prava portal is for the application and the approval management, okay? Application and the approval management. So whatever application the regulated entities need to send to RBI, it will be done via Prava portal. This is a centralized platform, okay? Centralized platform. Can you tell me from which date RBI has mandated everyone to use the Prava portal for all the regulated entity? If you are a regulated entity, you need to mandatorily make the application via Prava portal. So which is the date? Which is the date here? The date here is, guys, 1st of May 2025. Okay, so very good, Mukund. 1st of May 2025 is the date. So here you can see that RBI has mandated all the regulated entities, if they need to submit any application, they need to do it via the Prava portal. 1st of May 2025 is the date. The full form is Platform for Regulatory Application, Validation and Authorization. Very, very important. High chance that you can get one question from this Prava portal in your upcoming phase 1 examination. Okay, Platform for Regulatory Application, Validation and Authorization. Next one, Gold Sikka Private Limited introduced world's first AI integrated gold melting ATM in Hyderabad, right? This is the first AI integrated gold melting ATM. This is the first AI integrated gold melting ATM, right? We do have gold melting ATMs already in China, right? Long before. ये AI integrated है, इसलिए पहला हो गया है. So which feature? Here are the 5 features in the options. Which of the following feature is not associated with Gold Sikka's AI integrated gold melting ATM? The most important part of the news here is AI integrated gold melting ATM, the first part, and the second part is the name of the organization, right? Now I have just framed this question just to cover the features of this particular. So direct cash withdrawal in INR is not at all permitted here, right? Cash withdrawal is not permitted here. Cash will be deposited to your bank account. Okay, so option C here is not a feature. Rest of the things are the feature. Please do remember the name of the organization, Gold Sikka Private Limited. Second one, it is the world's first AI integrated gold melting ATM machine, right, in Hyderabad. Next one, which of the following company become the third entity to cross 15 lakh crore in market capitalization in May 2025? So HDFC Bank was the third entity. Okay, HDFC Bank was the third entity. Good afternoon, Atiti. Now next is regarding the standardization of the currency handling infrastructure and improvement in the integrity of the note circular. So there is a BIS standard. You don't have to remember the number of this one. For which banks must now comply, pertains to which of the following operational requirements? So what operational requirement this particular BIS standard is covering? Any idea, anyone? The correct choice here will be detection, classification and fitness assessment of the bank notes. Okay, detection, classification and fitness assessment of the bank notes, option C. Next one is, can you tell me the extended deadline set by the RBI for the banks to deploy BIS compliant note sorting machine? So RBI has mandated the banks to deploy the BIS compliant note sorting machines. What is the extended deadline? What is the extended deadline here? Everyone in the comment section. The correct choice is 1st of November 2025. Okay, 1st of November 2025 is the timeline. So here we can see RBI extends the deadline for the BIS compliant note sorting machines to 1st of November 2025 here. Next one, Which of the following is not among the survey Reserve Bank of India for the monetary policy input? Very, very important. So there are 3 surveys that the Reserve Bank of India is using for the monetary policy input. Which of the following is not one of them? Which of the following is not one of them? Yes, industrial producer expectation survey is not one of them. Rest of the three are part of the monetary policy decision making process, right? So RBI initiate 3 key surveys to inform monetary policy decisions. The first one is inflation expectation survey of the household, second one is urban consumer confidence survey, and the third one is rural consumer confidence survey. Most important news for your examination. Next one. Now this is from the National Common Mobility Card related news. So yeah, NCMC enabled card was launched by Airtel Payment Bank. So which of the following statement most accurately describes the new launch? So Airtel's NCMC card supports the integrated payments ATM use and are made of eco-friendly ePVC. Right, this was the news, not so important, so that's why I'm not covering it in a detailed manner. Okay, next one. Which of the following best explains the operational impact of SEBI's new cutoff timing for the digital redemption in overnight funds? So SEBI has changed the digital redemption process in the overnight funds. Any idea about that? Which of the following is correct one? This is regarding SEBI's new cutoff timing for the digital redemption in the overnight funds. The correct choice is E. It enables the brokers to liquidate the pledged overnight schemes with better NAV accuracy, right? That's what the main purpose of bringing this particular upgrade was. Acha, can you guys tell me this one? Under the new SEBI norms, the redemption request for the overnight mutual funds made via a digital platform up to which time will be processed at the NAV of the day immediately preceding the next business day? NAV of the day immediately preceding the next business day. Up to 7 p.m. okay, up to 7 p.m. So redemptions submitted by 7 p.m. will receive the NAV of the day immediately before the next business day. So SEBI revises the cutoff timings for the overnight mutual fund redemptions. We have covered this in the May month, right? It will be effective from June 2025, so it's already there, right? So there are 2 timings, offline physical mode and online digital platform. So in the MCQ session I have covered just the digital platform timeline because most of the requests are coming from the digital platform only. So 7 p.m. is for the digital platform timeline. If you are making offline submission, then 3 p.m. will be the timeline, right? Next one. The e-Kisan credit platform integrates all of the following except what? This is regarding the e-Kisan credit platform. UPI is not there, okay? UPI is not at all a part of credit origination process for the rural loans. Rest of the things are already there. Rest of the things are there in this, right? Next one. A fintech startup digitizing the rural credit delivery received a strategic investment from a national financial institution. Which entity has recently acquired 10% stake in this particular startup? Important. So NABARD, guys, NABARD has invested in a fintech startup digitizing the rural credit delivery. Okay. So NABARD acquires 10% stake in the agri fintech startup. We can see Moneyworks Consulting Private Limited was the name of the organization, right? Moneyworks Consulting Private Limited. So NABARD has acquired 10% stake in this agri fintech startup. Please do remember this one, can be important. Next one. Which of the following entity has recently received the final approval from RBI to operate as a payment aggregator in May? So in May month, ZacPay, one of the MobiKwik subsidiary, received the final approval. Which metric measures the deprivation in the health, education and the standard of living? So this is a World Bank report basically identified the narrowing the urban rural gaps in different states like UP and Bihar. So metric is used to measure the health, education and living standard. What is the metric? It is the multidimensional poverty index. Okay, option E, multidimensional poverty index. Option E. Next one. What challenges does this initiative aim to address? So what was the challenge which this particular initiative aimed to address? A payment corporation plan to overhaul the net banking infrastructure to reduce the reliance on UPI. The new system will introduce dynamic QR codes and the centralized platform for interoperability. What kind of new situation it will address? It will be addressing the fragmented integration between the banks and the aggregator. Option E. Okay, option E. Next one. According to the RBI's directive, what percentage of ATMs must be capable of dispensing 100 and 200 denomination of the banknotes by 2026? By March 2026. So this is from the RBI press release. Any idea, guys? It's 90%. Okay, it's 90%. What is the revised cap? Very, very important. What is the revised cap set up by the RBI on the penalty for specific FEMA violation as mentioned in the document? Very, very important. High probability question. This can be a high probability question in your examination for sure. Yes, 2 lakh rupees. Very good. 2 lakh rupees is the correct choice. Okay. 2 lakh, option B. So RBI cap FEMA violation penalty at 2 lakh to ease the compliance burden was the finance current affair from which we have covered this news. Okay. Next one. What is the name of the parametric insurance product launched by the Bajaj Alliance to address the weather related financial risk? A new product was launched by Bajaj Alliance in May 2025 month. What was the name of that particular insurance product? So the name was Climate Safe. If you guys remember, we have covered this news. Option E, Climate Safe was the name of the product, right? Weather related financial risk. Option E. Acha, one more thing that you need to know is Razorpay launches India's first AI integrated MCP server for payments, right? Model Context Protocol server for the payment gateway. So Razorpay was the first to launch this particular platform. Next one. Which agency upgraded the India sovereign credit rating to BBB with a stable outlook in May 2025? So it was Morningstar. Okay, it was Morningstar. Next one, an important one. Transparency in digital lending continues to evolve with the regulatory oversight and the structured disclosure. What portal did RBI mandated for reporting all the digital lending apps by the regulated entities? Very, very important. The correct choice here is option A, centralized information management system. Okay, yes, CIMS is the centralized information management system. So RBI mandates the reporting of the digital lending apps via the CIMS portal. Okay, the timeline was 15 June 2025 and compliance by the LSP required to meet the new presentation requirement by 1st November 2025. So these were the timelines. Okay, so this is again from the same news only, Moneyworks Consulting Private Limited, in which NABARD has invested 10%. So what is the key feature of e-Kisan credit here? So it integrates the land records, Aadhaar, e-KYC, core banking system and EPACS to automate the rural credit life cycle. So this is for the end-to-end automation of the rural credit life cycle. Okay. Next one. Which of the following reflects the primary objective of the Grahak Mitra platform launched by SBI in May 2025? Option B, to assist the customers in adopting the alternate banking channels and reduce the branch loads. Because in SBI Bank there is a problem of the branch load, that's why they are assisting the customers in adopting alternate banking channels rather than just going through the branch. Right, so the name of the initiative was Grahak Mitra, please do remember. Okay, Grahak Mitra. Perfect. Mukund and Vinod. World Bank lowered the India's financial year 2026 GDP forecast. Which of the following was not cited as a reason by the World Bank as a contributing factor for the downgrade in financial year 2026 growth forecast? Any idea, anyone? And can you also tell me the rate forecasted by the World Bank for India's financial year 2026 GDP? Yes, here the option is correct. Option A. Increasing inflation pressure due to crude oil imports was not at all the reason. Rest of the 4 points are the real reasons, right? For growth rate, it was 6.3. Okay, it was 6.3, which was predicted by the World Bank for financial year 2026. Okay. Next one. What key requirement mandated by the FIUIND? What is FIUIND? Financial Intelligence Unit India, for cryptocurrency exchanges concerning the high risk accounts? Can be important. Option A, to conduct enhanced due diligence and collect comprehensive information were the two factors to enhance the due diligence, and the second one is to collect the comprehensive information. So FIUIND has mandated these two things for the cryptocurrency exchanges here. Okay. Next one. The Bharat project launched by the Minister Mr. Piyush Goyal targets 1 million entrepreneurs across tier 2 and 3 and the rural India as well. Which of the following is not one of the pillar of the Bharat project? Was not one of the pillar of the Bharat project. Option A here, Bharat bond, is nowhere the pillar of the Bharat project. Okay, option A. Next one. Which of the following two urban cooperative societies had their license cancelled by RBI in April 2025. So they were the Ajanta Urban Cooperative Bank and the Imperial Urban Cooperative Bank. So these two urban cooperative banks got their licenses cancelled in the month of April end. Okay, so that's why we have covered this news in the month of March finance current affairs. Okay, though a low probability question. Okay, though a low probability question. Next one. As of the financial year 2025, gold accounts for approximately what percentage of the India's total foreign exchange reserve? अच्छा, ये वो वाला को पायलट नहीं है जो हमारे लैपटॉप्स में होता है, ये कुछ और है. Gold accounts for approximately what percentage of the India's total forex reserves? It was 11.35%. Okay, for the financial year 2025, 11.35%. Right? How much did the RBI purchase in 2025? So RBI purchases 57.5 ton. This is the financial year 2025 ka data. That's why I'm covering it. Right, and it was the second highest. Earlier in 2017, RBI purchased huge quantity of gold, and this is the second highest here. Okay, 57.5. Which two regulatory bodies jointly launched this particular national initiative to help the investors reclaim their unclaimed shares and dividend? That's SEBI and IEPFA. Okay, that's SEBI and IEPFA. So this is one of the most simple question. SEBI and IEPFA. What is the new deadline? I think we have already covered this one, right? It's a repeated question. What is the new deadline set for the RBI for installing the BIS compliant note sorting machine? That's 1st of November 2025, right? Next one. Which is the name of the Access Max Life AR based onboarding platform which was recently launched in May 2025. So this was a AR based platform available in multiple languages and formats. What is AR? Augmented reality. The platform name was Bandhan 2.0. Okay, the Bandhan 2.0, though a low probability question. Next one. SEBI has recently revised the cutoff timing for redemption in which of the following category? We have already discussed it. This is overnight funds, right? This is overnight funds. According to the World Bank, India's extreme poverty rate saw a sharp drop over the decade. What was the India's extreme poverty rate in 2023? Down from earlier 2012. Earlier it used to be 16.2%. What is the new rate now? What is the new rate now? This is the data of World Bank. Yes, it was 2.3%. Okay, it was 2.3%. Perfect. Acha, this is the March 2025 ka IIP data. That's why I'm covering it. It was close to 3%. Okay, it was 3%. Financial year data. The recent month data, definitely for your examination, it will be September month only. And any sudden spike or sudden decline, these three types of data we remember for the examination. Next one, which Japanese conglomerate acquired the 10% stake in Yes Bank? Now it is much more than 10%. Right, this particular question is from May month. That's why 10% is written. Now it's much more. It was the option C, SMFG group. Right. Which two entities signed a pact to boost India's gaming sector in May 2025? Can be important. So they will be definitely working on the domain of digital content, gaming and skilling. Can be important. A moderate level priority for this one. Option B. GDAI and SEPC were the two entities, right, who signed the MOU here. Which of the following is true regarding the Kotak Mahindra and IEPFA Investor Awareness Program? They both signed an MOU. Which of the following is true regarding the Kotak Mahindra Banks and IEPFA Investor Awareness Program? The correct one is D. It leverages the Kotak's digital platform to disseminate the investor protection content here. This was the news, this was the MOU, not so important, okay, not so important. Next one. Crypto compliance, again FIU directs the exchanges to redo the KYC by 30th June of all the crypto exchanges. Next one, which of the following components contributed most to the India's total export growth in financial year 2025? Financial year 2025 ka data. Which of the following components contributed the most to the India's total exports? I am talking here about the total exports. It was the service exports, right? It was the service exports. Perfect. So we can see that India's total exports reached a record high of $824.9 billion in financial year 2025, and this was led by the service exports. Acha, what is the primary aim of the MOU signed between the IFSCA and NISM? It is for the building joint financial education and certification programs. Okay, building joint financial education and certification program, and that's what NISM actually is doing. According to the NSO pilot, large firms with the turnover above 500 crore contribute disproportionately to the output and capital formation. What key insight does the NSO pilot study provides about the India's service sector corporate structure? What was the key insight provided by the NSO pilot study? It was private limited firms dominate the sector, right? This sector is being dominated by the private limited firms. This was one of the key insight. Acha, this is the data related to GST reported in April 2025. So why I am covering in the finance current affairs session? Because I told you to remember 3 types of data. First one is the recently published data, obviously of your September month. Next is your financial year end ka data. Third one is the sudden spike. So this was the highest ever in a single month. This data was the highest ever GST collection in a single month. It was 2.37 lakh crore. Okay, 37 lakh crore, right? Option D. So this was the highest recorded so far data as of now in terms of GST collection, and now the collection is down as compared to this particular data. ठीक है, चलो यार ये वाला ऑप्शन हटा देते हैं, कोई बात नहीं, अब तो डी है, ठीक है, एक ऑप्शन हटा देते हैं, कंफ्यूजन क्रिएट नहीं करते. नेक्स्ट वन, व्हाट इज द प्राइमरी ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ MOU signed between Southern and Bank of India? The correct choice is option E, promote credit access for small and women-led business. Very, very important. Okay, this can be important. Next one. RBI stated that entities with past ODI violations will be facing serious consequences unless the lapses are regularized by August 2025. What consequences firms will face if they fail to rectify the pre-2022 ODI violations by the RBI's deadline? So this was again there on the RBI's website. What kind of prohibition the companies will be facing in case of if they fail to rectify the pre-2022 ODI? There will be a ban on the future overseas investments. Okay, there will be a complete ban on the future overseas investment is what the consequence will be, right? What was the total value of India's export, both merchandise as well as service, recorded in financial year 2025? Total value of India's export, so it was 824.9 billion. We have already discussed in a news, I think 5 minutes back only. How much gold did RBI purchase in 2025? So again, I think this is again a repeated question. 57.5 ton was the correct answer, right? Which of the following was India's top trading partner in 2025 based on the bilateral trade value? Based on the trade value, which of the following was India's top trading partner here? It was US. Okay, option B, it was US. Which of the following subsector recorded a notable increase in the contribution to the India's export growth in 2025? Which of the following subsector recorded a notable rise in contribution to India's export growth in 2025? So it was non-petroleum in engineering goods export. Okay guys, don't worry, even if you are not able to remember, that's totally fine. You just need a quick revision, nothing else, and that's what we are doing in this particular lecture. After this lecture, what the best you can do is just download this PDF and have a quick reading in 15 to 20 minutes. That's all, right? That will be quite a good coverage for you guys. Which amount did India roll over as a treasury bill for the Maldives in 2025 May? What amount did India roll over as the treasury bill for Maldives in May 2025? So again, it was there on the RBI website. The correct answer is $50 million. Okay, $50 million. Next one. What is the targeted bilateral trade between India and UK by 2030 under the FTA, new FTA signed? So the targeted trade value was $120 billion. $120 billion. Okay. Acha, tell me this one. Where was the 58th annual general meeting of the ADB Board of Governors held in 2025? This is simple. It was in Milan, Italy. Okay, option A. Next one. What is the name of the newly launched NSE index focused on India's creative economy? India's creative economy related index. So this is more of a SEBI related news. Nifty waves, very good. Nifty waves. This can be important, okay? This can be important. Next one. Which of the following organization did SBI partners to enhance the banking services at 26 land port across the India? So SBI has partnered with Land Port Authority of India, right? Option B, Land Port Authority of India. What financial tool did Finance Ministry unveils to mobilize the investment in the climate positive sector? Can be important. Option D, draft climate finance taxonomy. Okay, climate finance taxonomy. Under the RBI's newly adopted consultative framework, what is the minimum period for the review of draft regulations? So that's 21 days. We have already covered it. 21 days, right? Next one. Under the revised CGSS credit guarantee scheme for startup, what is the maximum guarantee per borrower? Can be important for your examination phase 1. Under the revised credit guarantee scheme for startups, what is the new maximum guarantee per borrower? Yes, 20 crore. Okay, very good. 20 crore. Next one. Which directive did Finance Ministry issue to the public sector banks in May 2025 to reduce the legal recovery delays? There were so many legal recovery delays. That's why the Finance Ministry instructed them to clean up the DRT settled cases and review the advocates. Option E. Okay. How many total beneficiaries were covered across the 3 major schemes, PMJJBY, PMSBY and APY? So they were 82 crore. Okay, 82 crore. 82 crore. Last date for the regulated entities to report all the digital lending apps to the RBI CIMS portal. Tell me this one. It was 15th June, right? It was 15 June. We have covered this, I think 10 to 15 minutes back only in a particular news. Next one. The RBI, the regulatory landscape also continue to evolve in how RBI periodically updates or remove the existing framework based on their relevance, performance and public input. Which of the following would not fall under the mandatory consultative process in RBI new regulatory framework? RBI needs to consultation, RBI needs to take consultation always, but in few cases, those cases are not falling under the mandatory consultative process. Which is one of the case which is not falling under the mandatory consultative phases? Option B, internal administrative circular. For any kind of internal related organization, internal related circular, let's suppose there is a circular, there is a change related to internal affairs of the RBI. Why do we need even the public consultation, right? So that's why the option here is option B. Okay. What is the estimated investment target that India aims to unlock through its climate finance taxonomy by 2030? By 2030 can be important. That's $2.5 trillion. Okay, $2.5 trillion. Very, very important for your examination. Okay, I think this one we have already covered. Next one. Which of the following is not among the specific directive issued by the Finance Ministry to public sector banks regarding the legal recovery? So again, all the things are covered. Avoid all the over allocation cost to select firms, periodic review of the empanelment of advocates, reconciliation of the settled DRT cases and closing the aged litigation for pending year. This particular one was not at all there in the list. Acha, tell me this one. What is the revised credit guarantee scheme for startups? What percentage of default is covered for the loan up to 10 crore? For the loan up to 10 crore, what percentage of default is covered under the CGSS? It is 85% as of now. 85%, okay? Option D, 85%. Next one. Which bank became the first Middle East and African bank to open a branch in the India's gift city? It was the Qatar National Bank. Okay, Qatar National Bank. Next one. What is the total combined profit posted by the public sector banks in financial year 2026? So the public sector banks combinedly posted a profit of 1.78 trillion rupees. Okay, 1.78 trillion rupees. Which country recently integrated the cryptocurrency as a payment option within its tourism sector? Can be important, though not so high probability, but still a moderate level. Yes, it was Bhutan. It was Bhutan. Option B. It was Bhutan. Okay. Which association was recognized as a self-regulatory organization in the financial markets by the RBI in 2025? Very, very important. Very high probability question. It was Fixed Income Money Market and Derivative Association of India, which is called as FIMDA. Okay, very, very important. Next one. Which state government signed 2 MOUs with InSpace in May 2025 to promote the manufacturing park and excellence of center of excellence? The state was Karnataka. Okay, the state was Karnataka. Next one. What was the year-on-year growth in profit reported by the public sector banks in 2025? So we have seen the figure of profit. The growth rate was 26%. Okay, the growth rate was 26%. Growth rate was 26%. What is the annual guaranteed fees, AGR, applicable to the startups in 27 champion states under the CGSS? What is the annual guarantee fees? So the annual guarantee fees was 1%. Perfect. It was 1%. What is the minimum investment amount mandated by SEBI for the issuance of SDI, securitized debt instrument? Important. Very, very important. A very high probability question. Okay, you can't leave this one. Now some students are just covering 3 to 4 month current affairs. Still, I'll advise you to at least do these questions that are very high probability, no matter it is of 6-month-old or the 7-month-old, right? The correct choice here is 1 crore. Okay, the correct choice here is 1 crore. Next one. If an SDI has listed securities as the underlying asset, what determines the minimum ticket size? What determines the minimum ticket size? If the SDI has a listed security as an underlying asset, what will be determining the minimum ticket size? So the minimum ticket size will be determined by the highest face value among such securities. Whatever the highest face value will be among such securities, will be taking that. Okay, highest face value, please do remember. Okay, face value. Securitization transactions are governed by defined norms to ensure the market discipline and investor protection. Which of the following statement is not true as per the SEBI's SDI norms? option C is not true. The clean call-up limit was 10% and not 20%. Okay, option C. Originator can repurchase 20%. No, it can repurchase only the 10%. As per the SEBI's norm, what is the maximum duration for which a public offer of SDI can remain open? I have taken so many questions from this particular topic, and all these questions can be important for your examination. Okay. $10 days. Okay, 10 days. Option D. Next one. Which existing regulation do the advertisement requirement for SDI align with? It aligns with the non-convertible security guidelines. What is the minimum risk retention requirement for the originator in a general SDI transaction? How much minimum risk retention is stated here in case of a general SDI transaction? It is option C, 10%. Perfect, 10%. So this was from the SEBI's new regulatory framework for the securitized debt instrument. I have covered in a separate video as well. Plus, please do remember the minimum ticket size was of 1 crore, and rest of the things are also there in this particular circular. Okay, can be very very important for your examination. It can come in your phase 1 examination, phase 2 में भी आ सकता है. ठीक है, ज़्यादा चांसेस है कि फेज़ 1 के अंदर ये वाली लिमिट आ सकती है 1 करोड़ वाली, और दूसरे क्वेश्चंस जो हैं वो ज़्यादा फेज़ 2 के पर्सपेक्टिव से इम्पॉर्टेंट रह सकते हैं, है ना. हाँ, ऐसे भी याद कर सकते हो. ठीक है, ऐसे भी याद कर सकते हो. ओके गाइस, सो थैंक यू सो मच फॉर टुडे. देयर आर फ्यू क्वेश्चंस एट द एंड ऑफ माय स्लाइड फॉर योर होमवर्क. Right after the session, what you can do is just download the PDF and quickly have a reading regarding those homework questions as well. Okay, so thank you so much. Bye bye, take care, see you soon tomorrow same time. Thank you so much everyone. Bye bye, best wishes.